About a year ago, Timothée Chalamet hosted SNL, and he also performed as the musical guest.
You might not know the Bob Dylan songs I'm performing, but they're my personal favorites, and I'm so grateful Saturday Night Live is still doing weird stuff like this 50 years in. They're either really nice for letting me do this, or incredibly mean, and this is all a big prank.
At a Q&A in London after a screening of Marty Supreme, it was revealed that he had spent over 6 figures out of his own pocket on that. And I think people were up in arms about this because, oh my gosh, that's so much money and blah, 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 blah. According to Entertainment Weekly, he was just paying for like the band, the construction of the sets he used when he was performing, which is all usually taken care of by the record label of the musical guest, but obviously it's Timothée Chalamet, he doesn't have a record label. People were just overreacting. During the same Q&A, he went on to say, "I don't want to be in the pretentious in crowd. Brother, I think you might be the mayor of the in crowd," saying stuff like this.
You always
That
speak
said,
truth.
like, this is probably my best performance, you know?
What?
And that it's been like 7-8 years that I feel like I've been handing in really, really committed, top of the line performances. And it's important to say it out loud. This is really some top level shit.
I understand to a certain extent, right? You are one of the youngest actors to ever be nominated for 3 Best Actors, apart from like Marlon Brando or whatever. But saying you don't want to be in the pretentious in crowd when being pretentious is a little on the nose.
It's Timothée Chalamet chillin', trying to stack 100 million. I'm doing my things, Marty Supreme, Marty Supreme.
Hi, I'm Zach, and welcome to Cinema This Week, the show where we talk movies, TV, and everything from the entertainment industry from the last 7 days. If you're new around here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the like, because I'm here for you every week. Documentaries are back in a big way, with Netflix leading the charge. They recently just agreed to rights for Noah Kahan's new documentary. Noah Kahan? I have no idea. He rose to fame in 2022 with his song and album, both called Stick Season. The documentary is called Out of Body and will follow Noah Kahan on tour, working on new music, and going back home to Vermont to find his roots. The director said, "What we captured over the course of a year surprised me. Moments that were thrilling, terrifying, and hilarious, often all at once." Noah Kahan, everything, everywhere, everything all at once. So the film promises to be a look behind the curtain, behind a rapid rise of fame, and the things that come along with it. Okay. Let me explain. Yes, I did give the series finale of Stranger Things 5 a 5 stars. But I went into it with the expectation of what a Duffer finale looks like. Let's take a look at the season 4 finale, for example. After Hopper and Joyce work to get back from Russia, after Destin and Eddie bait away the demo bats, after Will, Mike, and the crew help Elle get into the bath to piggyback on Vecna, after Vecna snaps Max in half, we get 2 days later. We get this scene where everyone is hugging at the Wheelers. Like the crew shows up, they meet at the Wheelers, and they go and they hug everybody, and it could have ended right there, right? They're all back in Hawkins. They might not be, like, solvable what's going to happen next, but they're all back together. That's, like, that could have been the end, right? But it didn't. We had 17 more minutes of epilogue after that. Epilogue is not a new thing to the Duffers. So, like, going into this, I was like, the Duffers like to wrap stuff up because they don't know if they're going to get renewed. So at the end, like, this is the finale of Stranger Things. I knew they were going to give us, like, here's exactly what happened to each of the characters. Now the question that everyone has been asking, is 11 alive? Caleb McLaughlin, who plays Lucas on the show, recently went on The View and gave his 2 cents. Quote, "Rest in peace, 11. So I like to think that all of the things Mike told us at the end were the best case scenario. They might have not been what actually happened, but they were all like that rainbow over the edge of the rainbow. So like, yeah, Hopper and Joyce do get to go live in Montauk, have a fresh start instead of staying in Hawkins and having to like be alone without their kids, reliving that trauma. Will is out and proud, except like, and is not being like homophobically attacked or anything, like what actually happened to a lot of people in the 80s. Mike does become a writer. He doesn't just get depressed by his girlfriend killing herself in front of him. And yeah, Elle is living in Ireland or wherever, enjoying life, traveling the world, instead of being ripped apart through space-time in another dimension. Again, nothing is perfect. The Duffers are included in that. So we got what we got. And for me, I'll still enjoy going back and watching season 3, which is my personal favorite. For other people who didn't like the finale, I don't know, kick rocks or something. A new movie by YouTuber Mark Fishbach, aka Markiplier, had more butts in seats than Sam Raimi's Send Help over the past weekend. Iron Lung is a movie based on a game of the same name, who is written and directed and starred in by Markiplier. The film follows a convict who, like I said, played by Markiplier, is welded inside of a submarine as a punishment for his crimes. The submarine is exploring this sea, but the sea is made out of blood. And the convict's only way to see out of the submarine is through these low-res pictures that the sub takes of the outside. I haven't seen the movie myself, but The Verge's Andrew Webster said the concept works well as a video game where you can kind of experience and make the story yourself, but didn't quite translate well to a feature-length format. That being said, Iron Lung is an indie success, and we love seeing indie success. It garnered just over $21 million at the box office as of filming. We are getting a sequel to every mom's favorite movie, Dirty Dancing. And I know, there's been a couple Dirty Dancing remakes, but the article said Dirty Dancing 2, so I'm calling it, they're like Talladega Nights or whatever. That's wrong, but it's something like that. While the plot remains a secret, the new movie will be written by Kim Rosenstock, who penned FX's Dying for Sex. When Jennifer Grey, who is revising her role as Frances Baby Houseman, was asked about her original co-star, Patrick Swayze, she told People, quote, "All I can say is there is no replacing anyone who's passed. You never try to repeat anything that's magic like that. You just go for something different." So, hopefully this new film will honor him in some way. And rumors are circulating that Dirty Dancing 2 will release next year in 2027 to coincide with the 40th anniversary of the first film's release. That sounded very news anchor. According to articles from The Hollywood Reporter and The Atlantic, film students can't even sit through movies anymore. These are full-on adults, college students, who chose to be film majors, who aren't even interested in what they signed up for. This baffles me as someone who wants to make films someday, as someone, I would describe myself as an avid movie watcher. I watched over 250 movies last year. Like, to not be interested in the craft you want to replicate or the craft you just want to partake in is crazy. Rose Horowitz, a writer for The Atlantic, surveyed 20 film studies professors, and these were some of the things they said. After watching movies in class, a multiple-choice question final exam, most students chose answers that didn't even pertain to the film. There was one film that they were watching that did not have anything to do with Ernest Hemingway, and one of the answers was they got drunk with Ernest Hemingway, and they picked that. Another quote from Professor Akira Mizuta Lippit: "You do not have to pay attention until the very end." And I just can't get everybody to do that. I think that's crazy. She's like, "Guys, just watch this part." And they're like... But a quote from Lynn Spiegel, a professor at Northwestern, said, "But the ones who are really dedicated to learning film always were into it, and they still are. So, hopefully the future of film won't be too up in the air." Get it? I feel like I do one of these jokes every time, but Up in the Air is a movie. Whatever. Now we are going to react to the Drama trailer. So it's one of the 3 Zendaya Robert Pattinson movies releasing this year, and it's coming out soon in April, and it's called The Drama. The trailer was released last week, so let's give it a watch. Alright, so they're talking about their speeches. Talking about the first time they met. And their first date. They're very clearly in love. Whoa, she's getting married to her first love. That is a little... It's kind of how I laugh, which is not good. Oh shoot, they're getting into it. Okay, so he went. Oh, and she went, and it was not good. Whoa, 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 whoa. Nerves, girl. They don't... The juxtaposition is crazy. Well, I wonder what she did. I'm gonna say murder as my guess. She did it to someone who was mentally disabled? Okay. Whoa, they showed a car crash. Whoa, and she's threatening him with a knife. Okay. Obviously, I'm gonna go see this, but oh, it's an A24. Okay, so thoughts being, I love when Zendaya plays a villain. She did it very, very well in Challengers. Like, if you watch that movie and you didn't think she was a villain the first time, go ahead and give that a rewatch for me. And apparently she did something awful because there was a car crash and he was scared. I think everybody would be scared when threatened with a knife, but who knows? Maybe it had something to do with a knife. And I'm guessing something to do with that, with the car as well. It just seemed too, like, on the nose to put them almost being, like, run over by a car and then a car smashing into a tree. That seemed like a little bit there, you know? With that, let's wrap up this CTW with talking about my movie of the week. Last week, I didn't watch too many movies. I watched, like, Hamnet and Twinless, but the movie I want to talk about was a rewatch. Agent Cody Banks. I watched this because I was on a bit of a bad spy movie kick. Like, I watched Cars 2, which isn't a bad spy movie. It's just funny, and, like, it's a kid's movie, so it's, like, a little bad. Don't come for me. I love Cars. So I watched Agent Cody Banks, which is Frankie Muniz, Hilary Duff, and I don't actually know anyone else in that cast. But can I say one more time? Cody Banks is a CIA agent, but he's 15. He got recruited because he read, like, spy comics, and he's really nerdy, so he's, like, smart. So he got recruited by the CIA to go to their summer camp to train to become an agent. And he's been going to the summer camp for a few years, but he gets his first mission. And the mission is to transfer to a different school where this girl goes that is Hilary Duff, and her dad is a scientist that made these little nanobugs that can, like, eat anything. So if, like, they, like, store them in ice, and so when the ice melts, the little nanobots eat everything. But they can be programmed to, like, eat anything. So it's really bad. And so Cody has to get close to her so that he can be invited to her house for her birthday party. And then see what her dad is up to in, like, his lab or whatever, right? And the thing, like, it's not a bad movie, right? Like, it's a decent movie. I was sat for it, right? But the thing is, they have his handler, right? Because he's only 15, so he can't be, like, a spy on his own. So he has a handler that is this model woman that's, like, never wearing enough clothes, who's, like, 6 feet tall, and of course he has a crush on her. And I feel like this was a trope in the 90s, 2000s, because they did this in Blank Check too, where it was just like, here's this lady that's really hot and really, really old for you that you're gonna hang out with a lot. And it was worse in Blank Check, obviously, because they full on kissed at the end. That was fucking weird. But this is just like, she comes in to get him from his class so that she can go and brief him on whatever. And she comes into the boys' locker room wearing this crazy outfit that, like, shows off her stomach. And it's like, aren't you supposed to be a spy? Like, you're supposed to be inconspicuous. And here you are wearing a bright red jumpsuit that shows off too much skin in a fucking room full of underage naked teenagers. I don't know. I just really want to talk about that because it's so weird. It's so weird. I think I gave it a 2.5 stars because I could not in my right mind give it a 3. Like, 3 is my median on Letterboxd. Like, unless it's really bad, I'm not giving it less than a 3. But, like, you're going to make it weird, I'm going to give you a 2.5 stars. Ugh. The one thing that is fun is looking back at the special effects, because they are so bad, but they are probably like decent for the time. But like when stuff blows up, you can like see the green screen of it all, and like this was like primitive CGI technology that they were using. And I just think it's so funny. But I feel like there's no like bad spy movies, because there's always going to be action. There's always going to be like tension, because maybe you get found out or whatever. I watched the second one later on in the week. That one is way better. There's a lot less tension in that one, but it's a lot funnier and a lot less, here's a woman that's like 20 years your senior that you're going to hang out with. There was a way less of that. So all right. That's going to do it for cinema this week, you guys. Hope you enjoyed. If there's anything you saw that you want me to talk about next week, let me know. But yeah, I'll be seeing ya.
It's Timothée Chalamet chillin', tryna stack 100 million. Girl got $1 billion. What the fuck? What a wonderful feeling. Hit to the ceiling, hit to the Since 2017, I'm living the dream, getting the cream. I'm living on theme, I'm doing my things. White supreme, white supreme, white supreme.